How can I help you?
Hi there. I'm new to metal detecting, and I'd like to buy my first detector today. What do you have in the $300 region?
Would you like it to be waterproof, with an adjustable stem and lightweight too?
Absolutely. And I also need great depth as well. I'd like wireless audio, USB rechargeable, and it would be great if you had a software update.
I've been detecting for 30 years, and there's no way you can get all of that for that price.
And that is where this gentleman is wrong, because there is one option. Only one, though. The Nocta Macro Simplex.
And the Simplex becomes the best-selling product worldwide, setting a new bar in terms of price-performance ratio. Simplex has advanced in many ways: hardware, software, design, and ergonomics. Yet one thing has stayed the same: worldwide proven performance and success, backed up by a company that cares. Nocta Simplex New Generation. For everybody.
It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and it's the Big Detecting Show. Hello, darling.
Hello, dear. Sorry, I was just emailing my farmer. Well, not my farmer, a farmer. One of my farmers.
I've lost my elastic band.
Evening, everyone. I hope you're
Evening,
all okay.
everybody. Are you
and
well?
not on holiday. A lot of people are on holiday, aren't they, David?
A lot of people are on holiday. Hell of a lot of people are on holiday. Everyone, I'm on holiday. I feel like I'm on holiday, but I'm on holiday.
Life's a holiday for me. When you've got the hobby of metal detecting, it is a holiday, isn't it? Every week.
Life is but a dream, shaboom.
But you've had lovely weather up there, haven't you?
Oh, do you know what? Cracking the flags every single day. Honestly,
Sorry?
we've not cracking the flags. You not heard that expression? It's that hot that the flags have cracked. Flagstones?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant flags like on a beach or on like house. No, it's been blinking miserable. It was nice last weekend, but it rained yesterday morning. It's been cloudy. It's cloudy now and gloomy, but it's warming up for the weekend. So
Peeling.
Yeah, all right. No, that's just dry skin. That's
peeling.
Dermatitis.
It's that nice going to the beach on Sunday.
I hope everyone's all right in the chat. It's a Northern saying, thank you, Philip Wills, who lives in London. Of course, Philip would know that. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I'd never learned that. That's something I've learned new today. Very new. But you've been decorating this week, I hear, David. Big mistake.
Decorating, room swapping, new office, wide open space. Got on here last week, just enough time to set the computer up, where everything is now in place, and new furniture and new setup and books.
New studio.
They're dead far away, actually, from me. They're not as close as I used to have them, and I don't like them. They're not in arm's length anymore.
No. Great guest last week, by the way. I don't think I said it. Lothian West.
Yes.
Lothian.
The nice chaps from north of the border.
And thank you to those who donated. I've forgotten now who it was. Somebody.
Derek Gibbon, Rodney Cook, and ourselves. But I've not got around to responding it yet.
No, I thought not.
No, well, there's a reason. There's a reason. It was behind everything else, and it's only now, today, that it's not behind everything else anymore.
It'll be the only Magnolia splattered Quest Q30 in the country.
Absolutely not at all. All my metal detectors took pride of place, were fully protected away from everything else in the world.
Talking of metal detectors.
Yes, that's what we do.
Yes, the Simplex range being advertised heavily this week from Nocta. And the Versa from Rutus is getting lots of little tweaks and additions, and that looks really exciting. Can't wait to get my hands on one of those. You know I like me Rutuses.
Nice new advert from Nocta as well.
Yeah, there's something weird though, which I wonder if anyone in the chat can explain to me. It's probably me being a bit thick, but naturally, detectors weight, the lighter the shaft and the coil, potentially the easier the swing and balance. However, on the Simplex, the new one, the carbon fibre shaft is specified as being the same weight as the plastic one, which doesn't really... I know it's stronger than plastic, but when was the last time you broke your shaft?
I'm actually not that sad that I go looking at weight specifications.
No.
Checking them against previous models and such like. I haven't got a book at home with all the different specifications of every metal detector ever made.
There's a couple of benefits with carbon fibre. Obviously, it's lightweight and it's strong, but I would have thought it had been lighter than plastic. I don't know, but maybe Philip
might have been a light plastic.
Maybe a typo. Yeah, maybe Philip's right. Maybe it is a typo, but hopefully I'll get one. And also the shaft I'm looking forward to getting for the Legend, the new lightweight shaft and arm cup. So we'll see. I went out on Monday with giant... Dave, what have I been wanting to find for a long time?
Bell. Oh, no. It'd be a Roman fibula.
Right? Yes. What did James bloody get? 10 foot away from me.
To do with the CTX.
No, he was playing with the Manticore. Yeah, I had the DAS 2 with the latest update. The not the last update, the very latest one, because they brought out 1.0 and he said, "Can I have a go at the Manticore, please?" I went, yeah. So I dropped the shaft down so it's really small and put it in really basic settings. And he was with it, and he found a lovely fibula. But I did find a sixpence from 1878. And,
has anybody found his body yet?
No, but he's not watching. Here we go. Carbon fibre is, it is non-conductive in safe.
Oh, there he is.
But Graham, isn't what? Oh God, plastic doesn't carry. Yes, it does carry electricity.
Do you know them hammers, them 2 hammers that I've ever found?
Yeah.
I found them this week. They were in a box that I was using for carrying around for displays last year.
Have you got them there?
Yeah.
You're 2 hammered. Ooh, well done.
Yeah. They're there. They're ready to go into the cleaning solution. Had a little play with a shilling, and I've got to say, it's come up far superior. I should have took a photo beforehand, but it's come up far superior than it was.
Cleaning Pencil have got a new product coming out as well. I can't see it.
Hold on. What do we do?
Can't see it. Make it big.
That's what she said. It's come up very nice. Than it was. It was very bleak.
Was that hammered?
No. That was shilling.
I was going to say, very strange hammered. Yeah. But,
no, my hammers are there. One's in one of them.
But Cleaning Pencil got some new products.
One of them's not in one of them. Yes, he's. You'll know more than I. He did mention to me the other day, and I'm been busy and I've not been reading text properly.
Diamond tipped pencil.
Yes, the diamond tipped pencil. Oh,
yeah. Oof. So he's got a new cleaning solution, and also cleaningpencil.com. Graham, I'm not sure when they're available. I think he's in the chat. Yes,
so Graham, forgive me if I'm wrong. A diamond tipped pencil will therefore never need to be sharpened.
But then he won't ever sell any of his products ever again.
I know.
But if they're 10 times the price of a normal one. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
In the chat. Graham's fallen asleep.
Me and Wendy had a nice meeting
anyway,
last week.
Yes, tell us more about it, David.
Wendy and I had a meeting with Michael Lewis from the Portable Antiquities Scheme about lots of things. We spoke about the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and we sharpened exactly, but they are for a specific use. Ah, right. That's what Graham said. And about the big detecting show and about our reach, which I'm finding from all the looking at the analytics over the past couple of days is quite phenomenal, Adrian, would you say?
Yeah, tell him.
I will in a moment. So we had a nice meeting with him because what we're looking at doing is going on to the representing, well, it'll be Wendy more than I, representing on the Portable Antiquities Advisory Group, which is bloody darn good. And obviously from the back of that, our digital reach, which I'll tell you about now. Steve Cord, how was the legend? He's been on a weekender, been watching all his videos.
Hi,
the Facebook page for the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and all this information is there for us to. You can see it, Adrian, yourself, can't you? When you go on, if you go on, 7.1 million people have seen posts from ArcMD Mag in the past month, which I find astronomical. And basically, this show weekly, we are the bottom end, 10,000 viewers a week. Not 7 as we thought, but 10,000 viewers per show. That's the bottom end. Like tonight with Gary Cook coming on, we're going to have about 4,000, obviously. But I know people are already knocked that down a couple of 10%, 40 people maybe. Yeah. Anyway, and then upper end, if it's a decent guest, 35,000. And do you know what our biggest ever show ever watched was? It was, remember we done, it was before you joined as a co-host. It was the virtual detectable, the very first one. Remember when COVID first happened?
What's wrong with that? Because it didn't happen.
Were you? Oh, I thought
it didn't happen. There was computer problems, wasn't there?
No.
That was the second one.
Yes. 110,000 viewers of that show.
And so for those who are listening to what Dave's stats and saying, yeah, but you only got 8 likes and 102 views on YouTube, or Facebook, you only got 1 like, and that's normally Dave or me. This is all mixed together and it's shared between multiple platforms. So this is the interweb competitors gathering it from every source. So
well, tonight's show, for instance, I've shared it to groups, but tonight's show up to now, prime example, Adrian, it's been you've just come on going like that. It's been shared 65 times up to now. Share it. And I've not shared it 65 times. So, and that'll get shared continuously. And then 2 people will share it. Then 2 people will share it. Their friends will share it. So,
yes, it's all good. And the guests make it as well, don't they, Dave?
It's-
And the viewers, of course. The
So
people
if
who
you
watch Britain's Got Talent,
Britain's Got Talent on 10 viewers tonight.
no, there'd be more because my housing manager's out, but she's not really watched it. But Gary loves it. Gary loves it. He
It's
likes,
on a newer room. That's why usually I have one ear on, but now I've got both ears on.
So yes,
Keith Ellis met the new Kent FLO yesterday. Lovely young lady, very keen and welcoming. Love to see her on the show. Have a chat with her, Keith. Would be more than happy. Steve Laws shared it to his group. Talking of Steve Law, a few bits and bobs we've got going on tonight. I've set up, Adrian, a new. Let me see if this works. So I'm going to present. Share the screen. Let me see if this works. Has that worked? Is it on yet?
Oh wow!
It's not on yet, is
No,
it?
no. I saw my flow
add to
on
stream.
Saturday. Oh, I can
There it
see
is.
things.
Nah,
Yeah,
I don't
boy.
like it. I created a new thing. I don't like it. Let's just go back to how it normally is. No,
Make it big.
it's that
I
one.
saw
There
my
it
flow
is.
on Saturday.
There
Sorry.
it is.
Oh yeah,
There it is. There it is.
you're showing your email.
So
address,
Stephen Law sent me this. Where?
Top
Well. He sent me this, and this is Finley Gregg, who, if he went to a school in the UK, would probably get the shit kicked out of him. However, this is a boy for a passion for metal detecting and coin collecting, and he's travelled more than 4,000
You can't
miles
say that.
to hunt for buried treasure. Eh?
You can't say that
What?
about that poor boy.
I'm sorry.
He's a lovely lad. He's
I'm saying anything different. And he's dreamed of metal detecting in Britain. He's from Boulder, Colorado, and he'll be joining Deb and
Flies a
Stephen Law. Flies a helicopter for 2 hunts this weekend, I think. One near Doncaster and the second near Harrogate. Deb and Steve's group's called UK Metal Detecting Days, and Finley's mum had reached out to her on Messenger, and he's coming over for metal detecting. So well done.
Yeah.
Don't pick on him now. Don't pick on him. Lovely lad.
no. His parents must be wealthy to pay for him to come to England to metal detect. I
What a
always
cool
wanted to
name.
be on
Boulder, Colorado. Boulder.
on Miami Vice or Knight Rider, but I wasn't allowed. I always wanted to go. To
Somebody's
Disneyland.
watching in Crete. I love Crete. Gnosis was ace.
Hi, Jimmy. Jimmy, can you detect in Crete?
I've got a friend from school who lives in Crete. Crete.
I saw my flow on Saturday. Lovely lady. And you know the chicken's foot I found?
Yes.
I got that back, and they still can't nail down what it actually is.
It's a
The
chicken's
leg-
foot.
Well, no, they said it could have been a raven or something, but it could be Roman. But yeah, I went and saw her on Saturday at Essex Records office. If you live in Essex, get down there because wow, is that cool? This amazing building, right near the town centre, but hidden near the river. And I went in there, and there was a guy doing talk on maps, ancient maps of Essex, but it was shut, and I couldn't go in. And he had, no lie, I should have sent you this, Dave, about 50 printed maps of ancient Essex going back to about 1500s,
Wow.
right up to about the 1950s, and they were £3, big A2 sheets, and
Yeah.
he's written a book on it. But the thing that got me, he's probably not realised that book is like gold dust for a detectorist because
Oh, yeah.
it's not been on any metal detecting.
You see, this is where you should have
Social media.
mentioned it and kept it for yourself.
I haven't mentioned the name, but the book is it's about that fat, and it's all on maps of Essex, and it was like £8. I was like, oh my lord! So, but I couldn't buy it because there was no one there. They were on a talk, and all the doors were shut. But yeah, saw my flow, lovely
Okay.
flow, and those who do live in Essex and want to meet the flow and don't want to drive all the way to Colchester and have a nightmare parking, you can meet her every 3 months from last week, or go on the Flow website in Chelmsford at the Essex Records office and hand your fines over. And it's easy to park. it's easy to get there, and it's a lovely building to go and have a look round. So I thought I'd just give that a plug. I've forgotten her name actually.
Lady.
Lo-
Jimmy Lycra said it in Crete. He's on his 4th permit, and as long as you follow the rule, all is good. I'm beach metal detecting Crete, Greece, and summer water hunting is starting.
I bet you find a lot of jewellery, especially from the English.
Oh, Steve, I didn't realise that. I didn't read that long. He's a lovely lad. He's poorly. It's a Make-A-Wish dream thing that he's doing in the UK.
Oh, how brilliant's that? Well done,
I
Stephen.
feel quite shady now.
Yep. I think that needs editing, David.
Okay, edit it. Change it to
Producers,
something
you're getting it.
Weasley or something.
bike home.
Anyway,
Francis,
we've got some. Oh, Francis, right? Go on. What were we saying?
I'll be over in the UK in 6 weeks looking at getting out for a detect. So envious of what you guys find. Thank you, Francis. Well, if you're near Essex, not far from London, give us a shout.
6 weeks. Wonder what date that falls on. Because she might be here and be able to go to Detecticon.
Yeah. I think
so if you're in Northumberland, Detecticon's on 31st of July. 1st of August-ish, the weekend of. Anyway, we've got a couple of guests on tonight. He's been harassing me for the past 6 weeks, 10 times a day. Want to come on, want to come on. And me and Adrian been like, mate, we can't accommodate. We really, really can't. So Adrian's basically said, Dave, do when you dye on your beard, do it the colour of his shirt, and we'll get him on, even if it's 2 minutes. If he starts talking too much, Adrian has actually said to me, cut him off. Whatever you do, cut him off. But he's got John with him, so I hope John's going to...
John's sober.
I hope John's not on that stuff that Tony Kaywood drinks.
Yeah.
It's John.
Hey!
It's Gary Cook in Medium Hoss.
Oh, he's got his treasure hunting.
Yeah, I was just reading about.
Yeah.
Talk to the hand.
Right. No, this is Gary and John find a lot of fibulas, and we know what I'm like with the fibulas. And Gary, my mate, found one on Saturday, 10 foot away from me on Monday. So yeah, and
do you know what's worse, Adrian? I'm going to find one before you do.
I know. Well, I found one, but it's been 4 years.
I don't care. I'm going to find one before you do.
Take me up on my invite, Aid, and come in, have a day's detecting, and I'll take you to a field where a lot have come up from.
Yeah,
sorry. Take me up on my invite, Aid.
Aid. And Dave, obviously. I meant.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Actually,
John, squeeze his knee for me, John.
Hey?
Squeeze his knee for me.
Yeah. I was doing that beforehand, so he's calm now. He's okay.
I'm all right.
I've relaxed him. He's not going to talk too much.
What's Big Hoss? What's Big Hoss?
Have you ever used to watch Bonanza?
I'm too young for that.
Did you watch Bonanza when you were young?
I've just seen the picture of it.
Dave, I call it, he looks like Big Hoss off of Bonanza. See if you could get a picture up from me.
I used to like him, but
we agreed yesterday it's Medium Hoss.
Boss Hog.
So I'm calling Big Hoss. If you Google Big Hoss Bonanza, you'll know what I mean.
Okay. For those watching, we've got people in Crete tonight. I don't know, Francis, where you're right, but she's coming over here. So we've got people all over the world. Gary, John, you're part of a big team. Just briefly, hosting the largest charity metal detecting event in the UK, Rodney Cook Memorial, which was set up in remembrance of your dad, Gary. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, my dad is in memory of, and John.
And it's been going now for how many years? 5?
Since 2017, but obviously we missed 1 year of COVID, so
yeah,
this will be our 5th or 6th year.
Our first actual rally was 2017, and it was a one-dayer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I suppose if you counted that, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And you raised in total, roughly, excluding this year.
Just under £250,000.
Listen, if you're new to the show, Rodney Cook Memorial, all from metal detectorists, £250,000. I mean, wow. And that's gone towards.
There he is. That's a big hoss.
I don't see the resemblance myself.
It's
Put
someone
else, but
Put a Stetson on him, and you'll see what I mean.
So, yes, I see what you mean. But yeah, it's each year, Gary. But this year, you've done something different, haven't you?
Well, that was. I'll let John do that because that was your baby, wasn't it? The no frills one.
Yeah. So we obviously after we finished last year's rally and we raised that amazing sum last year, we sort of had a chat about it afterwards, and we've already checked the QR code and it works fine. Well done, Adrian. After we raised last year's money, which was £85,262. We wanted to obviously try and this year sort of set ourselves a target to make more. Obviously, it's harder because what we have decided to do was at the beginning of this year was not to put any of the ticket prices up for the guests, because obviously we were very, very conscious that even though things have gone up, we pay a little bit more for the generator, the toilets, and et cetera, it's all the costs have risen a bit. What we really wanted to do was obviously give the value for money to the paying guests, and it's not so much about making money. It's about people having a really good time at the rally, and obviously making money for the charities. It's a twofold thing. But obviously, we're very, 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 very conscious that things are getting tighter, and we wanted to sort of we've set our benchmark out to do as much as we can to raise the money, but we want to give value for money. So we've also decided this year that even though we have a one-day event, which obviously the tickets went on sale today for, we do the No Thrills weekend, which is just literally there'll be toilets. We'll have a small.
You missed a trick there, John.
Yeah. Hey?
No frills, no toilets. You missed a trick.
Yeah. Well, just for the ladies
for that malarkey.
But yeah, so obviously we had some more land available that wasn't. We were looking at lots of different options earlier in the year, and they didn't come off. And this parcel of land, which is we think very good for that weekend, came available. So we just decided we'll fit another one in, to give more people an option to come if they want to come for a shorter weekend. It's a little bit cheaper, obviously. And as you know, Adrian, our ticket sales for the main weekend went really fast, and there's still a big waiting list for people to come to the main rally.
600.
Well, there you go. Wow. See, so Gary will tell you that how many are sold at the moment which went on sale today. But in the future, what we're trying to do is if we can just fit in a one day or every now and again, that's the whole idea of the ticketing system. So that if we just find a parcel of land that's ready, available to go, we'll just push a button and do it. For whatever numbers of people. We just because we really enjoy what we do. All the marshals that come and help, the new people that came last year are obviously our Trowbridge Metal Detecting Club, which a lot of the marshals come from. Like myself, we're dedicated to actually keeping this going and keeping the drive going to provide something that we obviously realise is I think it's important for a lot of people. There's a lot of groups that are out there at the moment that are raising money just to put into our fund because they want to do something worthwhile. Fodder, love him. He's crazy, but Fodder works so hard to raise money himself to put into the pot, and then he comes and works Marshall's weekend, and obviously he does his little thing, which this year So I'm quite looking forward to chancing what it is. But yeah, I'm not sure how.
You both know what it is, don't you?
Yeah. I've actually personally seen it in action, and so I'm quite.
We're sworn to silence. We're not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
So the glory hole, you've actually seen it in action, then, John. The fodder glory hole. Is that what you're telling me?
But like John was saying, for the little mini weekend, the no frills one, when we say no frills, basically what we're saying is there won't be the big marquee, there won't be any entertainment in the evenings as such, apart from the entertainment that we make ourselves. We will have a burger van, and there won't be a bar, but there will be food on site, and we will have, music playing. We'll have our RCM gazebos up. You can't have a rally without a gazebo, come on. And so we'll have that. We'll set some music up. We'll have a few mucking about games and stuff. You never know, I might even do another quiz. But it will be, it's 40 quid for the weekend. You get 2 full days detecting for 40 quid. So turn up on the Friday, you can set your camp up. There's no detecting on the Friday, but you can arrive. And then we got 2 full days. I think we'll have hopefully around about 500 acres of arable fields. But when we say no frills, we don't really know what sort of condition it's going to be, if it's been cultivated or not, but we will sort all that out near the time. And that's like we said, we thought it could open it up for some of the people who couldn't get on to the main weekender, or it might, but you will get the regulars who insist on wanting to come to any RCM event that goes up, But as I say, it's a good area, it's good land. It's not a million miles away from where they're having the big rally, but I think it will hopefully should generate a few fines, and it'll be an RCM event, but just not with all of the extra RCM stuff that we do on the big one.
And great people there, and the views as well. Absolutely beautiful countryside.
Yeah.
Gary, I just got a quick question. Ange, who's a regular to the show, does any of the money from RCM go to the Christie in Manchester, as it's the biggest teaching and research cancer hospital in Europe?
No, we can't give to every single cancer charity in the country. What we tend to do is we support the Bath Royal United RUHX cancer charity. That's the biggest one in the local area to where me and John live. It's where my dad predominantly had his treatment, and it's where my dad passed away. So the people there were exceptional, as I've said many, many times, and they looked after me and especially my dad and the family. And it was them who inspired me after I lost dad to want to try and give something back to them for the amazing things and the hard work that they do. And of course, it was then that they started building the new cancer centre, which is going to be state-of-the-art facilities where families can stay on site whilst their loved ones are having treatment, or maybe need to stay in. The families can be with them. So that was that. We also support the Children's Leukemia Cancer Charity as well. And we also support another cancer charity local to us in Swindon, which is the Brighter Futures Cancer Charity. And again, they are doing some amazing things for research into cancer, helping families with cancer. They have an up and running new site, the new building that is actually now open. And we've been there to have a tour around, and we've seen what they can do. And one of our landowners supports this particular charity, so of course it was a no-brainer for us when he approached us to say that, could you help the charity that I support? It is cancer, and obviously being one of our amazing landowners, it was like a match. So but we are always open to to supporting other charities as well. But at the moment, it's those 3 predominant charities that we support.
Sorry, me and Dave know one.
Just to touch on the actual thing about the Brighter Futures one, where basically the money that we added to the fund this year paid for the scanner there, and what a lot of people don't realise is that Swindon, they were over capacity with their normal scanner for routine operations and stuff. That the cancer patients, even from, because it's got a very large catchment area from as far down as Melksham, were having to go daily to Oxford Hospital to get their scans done. And what it's meant is that was very vital to them to actually get that facility up and running and finished, because the amount of resources that were used up to actually get people that can't travel, that would actually use the hospital facilities and their bus system and everything else, they were basically have to go every day to Oxford. And the one thing that, it is quite striking when you talk to people that obviously are cancer sufferers is that a lot of their time is taken up by traveling to and from treatments and having a scan and stuff like that. So and if you've got to go, and that's Swindon to Oxford is a rubbish road. It takes a long time. So half their time is taken up by actually to and fro in every day. And when you're not in that position where you're not very well, I mean, it's very tiring and it's hard work. And since that's been open, obviously there's been so many people that have benefited from it that it was very essential. I'm sure around the country there are lots of places like this where the resources are a bit short. And it's one of the things is with doing the two that we've done or mainly for the last few years, is that they do make a vast difference to the community, and that is starting when it's open in Bath, because they were well behind the targets for what they should be for the area. I mean, that vastly improves it. But not only that, it gives new cancer treatments to a wider catchment area. So, I mean, my uncle who died of cancer, unfortunately, was going to Liverpool to have his treatment because it was nearest place. He had a new groundbreaking treatment, and it did prolong his life quite a long time. And
was that Clatterbridge, John?
I don't know where it was in Liverpool, but
it'd be Clatterbridge on the Wirral, that one.
Yeah, they were having to travel from Wiltshire up all the time to get every couple of weeks to get his treatment, and it's an arduous journey, isn't it? So, the more facilities around the country that come online, and obviously it is a massive necessity now because cancer seems to be one of those things that obviously is growing, and it's the more centres we've got that are capable of treating people in their local area, the better. So
Yeah, it's devastating, but at the same time, good that the hobby that we all love can contribute to it. And those who are interested in finding out more about Rodney Cook Memorial, go to rodneycookmemorial.co.uk website, or click this link here with your phones.
Adrian,
you're watching on your phone. Yes,
I just sent you a message. You need to do something quick on your WhatsApp.
On my phone.
Yeah, you'll need to do something while you're talking to me.
Sorry, someone's...
You spotted it?
James...
Spotted it?
Have I put the date wrong?
No, you haven't put the date. You've put September till the 1st of...
Oh, well, it's the 1st of October.
See, I was confused.
Sorry, on the Rodney. So if you scan this code, it's all right. James has just sent me a picture of my mum and dad's old.
Scan what code, Adrian?
This code here on your
that
phone.
Code there.
This will take you to the Rodney Cook Memorial.co.uk website for the one-day detect off, which is hilarious. Even though I've never been, but I've heard about it. This is where Gary will explain or John will explain about what happens there. So it's a one-day event. But also the No Frills Weekender, which, to be honest, the average detectorist, we all have our little alcohol supply and our car and our tent.
You mean our alcohol problem, you mean?
Yes. We're functioning alcoholic detectorists. But
talking of which, Nikki, the Soil Sisters, is in the chat room, and she's being dead
I did
well
see
behaved.
that. Oh, Nikki's all right. Yeah, it's Sam. Oh, gosh. Do you remember, Nikki, having to carry Sam? I had to carry Sam back to her room with you. Yes, that was sort of wandering around hotel reception.
Anne just said, by the way, without the Christie and the drug research trial they offered her, she'd be dead now. They wouldn't give her a prognosis, no being in remission, and that was 12 years ago.
Amazing. Well done. My dad was given 3 months, and he was then put on to what they called immunotherapy, which was at the time was the very latest trial treatment. And it's called immunotherapy because it is literally therapy for your own personal immune system. So how it works is it teaches your immune system to see cancer as the evil bastard it is. Because the human body doesn't recognize cancer as anything bad. It's sort of like, yeah, come on in, it's lovely in here, have a party, yeah, go wherever you like, it's amazing, free home, free house, So what this drug does is it says to the immune system, don't let them in. Don't let that in. It's not good. You don't want that in your body. So kick it out. So your own immune system is then almost treating the cancer. It's literally attacking the cancer cells instead of not recognizing them and ignoring them and allowing them to spread around the body and infect lots of different parts. The immunotherapy drug literally attacks cancer. The only problem with immunotherapy is it's so bloody expensive. My dad had to have 2 treatments a month, and each treatment was £15,000 a go.
Cool.
So my dad on his own, it was £30,000 a month just for my dad to have immunotherapy treatment. So if you times that by however many people in the country have got cancer, it's mind-blowing how much money is needed to treat people, to keep them alive and to keep cancer at bay. My dad would have had to have had immunotherapy for the rest of his life, unless he'd gone into remission. But if effectively, my dad's cancer was a melanoma, which is skin cancer. It's one of the most aggressive forms of cancer you can catch. It really is. And once it gets into your lymph nodes, it spreads like wildfire. And it's very, very hard to control. Immunotherapy wouldn't cure it, but it would keep it at bay. It would stop it from getting any worse. So it meant that my dad could have a reasonable quality of life, but he would be on treatment for the rest of that life. Unfortunately for my father, the immunotherapy was working amazing, but the cancer is such a bastard that it adapted and it found a loophole in the therapy and it attacked my dad from within. And it came back with a vengeance. And unfortunately, my dad wasn't strong enough to fight it. And the sad thing about my dad is the fact that everybody knows how amazing he was to me and what he meant to me. And he was my best friend and my mate, and he was best man at my wedding because he was my best friend. And he always used to say to me in the car drives to the hospital, I don't want to die. I want to see my great grandchildren. I've got so much more to give. And I used to say to him, Dad, don't be daft. You're not going to die. It's going to be fine. And we had many, many heart-to-heart, in-depth father and son conversations. And I sometimes saw my dad in a different way when you're suffering with this sort of thing. And he said to me once, he looked me in the eye and he said, cancer isn't going to kill me, son. It's not going to kill me. I'm not going to die of cancer. And when my dad passed away, he died of a heart attack brought on by the stress of the treatment and everything else that it made him so weak. He actually died of a cardiac arrest in hospital. And the day I went to the hospital to collect the death certificate, I picked it up and I looked at it, and on the cause of death, it said heart failure, cardiac arrest. And I went back to my car, crying my eyes out. I looked it up and I went, you were right. Cancer didn't kill you. He didn't die of cancer. I've got it official on your death certificate, mate. You beat cancer. It's your bloody heart that gave out, but you beat cancer. And to this day, people say to Dad, the cancer killed my dad. It brought on the heart attack. But my dad vowed cancer wouldn't be the cause of his death. And my God, it wasn't, because I've got it officially on his death certificate.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? Awful times, Gary, but you're doing so much to make things better for you and everyone else. I just got John Jensen in the chat saying, shouldn't you be donating this to the British Heart Foundation? No, I'm joking. I just thought I'd make that up. But no. I'd like to see your answer on that. There's always some awkward person in the chat tonight, thank God. But no,
you're right.
I think it does you good, like, because I lost my dad just after you lost your dad.
You did.
And it's hard because
we had that crying session together at the rap, didn't we? So I know, mate. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, mine was drink induced. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was sad. You miss your dads because when father and sons are very close, and so are mothers and sons. But dads, like my dad was my best mate, and I could knock him and take the mickey out of him. I'm not doing anything to support me dad. I should do one day, but
you are, because you're doing what you do for the RCM, and I said this many times. You don't get the credit you deserve for what you're.
No, but anyway, don't worry about me, because I worry about me when I've gone. That's what my dad always said.
You are doing something for your dad.
Yeah,
because of what you're doing with the RCM, and this is what a lot of people say to me. You know, the RCM is a very emotional weekend. It's a fun, fantastic weekend. But I get hundreds of people say to me, it makes me think of my dad, my auntie, my uncle, my son, my daughter, my mother, you know, my wife. So many people who have had cancer, and it makes them so wanting to be part of the RCM. And this is exactly what I wanted when I originally had the idea for the RCM, and I put it to John and to my friends. This is exactly the response that I wanted. I never in my wildest dreams would I have ever imagined that the RCM would have grown to the size that it has in such a short space of time. It never ceases to amaze me how much of the metal detecting community has taken it under their wing and absorbed my passion for the rally and diluted it out there into the mainstream metal detecting events, to the point where I get random people messaging me, what can I do to support you? I want to do a raffle. I want to do an online thing, you know, fodder with his fortune telling and his belly dancing and all of the amazing things that he does, and all the other groups, you know.
About his belly dancing. Adrian.
And it's taken off, hasn't it? To the point
where about go back to his belly dancing just for a moment, Adrian. So tell me, Adrian, when we were sat together, me and yourself, and you'd had a few swift halves, let's say.
No,
maybe a little bit too swift. A little bit too swift.
I was suffering from dehydration. There was no bottled water. Okay. So I had to drink Stella Artois. I probably had 5 or 6 pints. I didn't know what it was doing it for charity. I just thought it was someone like begging. That's what my head told me when I've drunk too much. All right, I did front up to him and offered to threaten to knock him out because I was begging.
I've done that many times. We all threaten to knock out fodder at least once in our life.
Yeah, I'm doing it on a daily basis at the minute.
Yeah, but no, he did. He raised a lot of money that evening. But if you've never been on a metal detecting rally and you don't fancy camping, book somewhere. And you know, this year's Rodney Cook Memorial, the normal one's gone, but the no frills will be fun because it will be full of nice people.
Yeah.
The one day detect off is hilarious. Not that I've ever been, but I've heard all about it. Just scan that QR code or go rodneycookmemorial.co.uk events, book tickets. They're not dear. I mean, crikey, we're talking £40 for the whole weekend for the no frills. My car costs twice that to fill up in petrol, and the one-day detect off is £30. So, and
John.
it goes to charity.
Yes.
Tell me about this detect off. What's happening? Something of relevance this year at all?
So it's changed a bit this year. Obviously, we've.
Make it big.
Pardon?
You can see John. So I just want to see you, big John.
Sorry, Adrian. I was going to rub it.
So it's changed a bit this year. Obviously, Fodder is he didn't win last year, so to give him a chance this year, he's decided he wants to sort of change it up a bit. And unfortunately, Mickey is no longer the challenger because he's doing other stuff and are not available. So we're going to have a ladies' team, and so now Fodder stands no chance. And I'm going to run a book on it probably. Because, I think it'd be quite interesting. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. He does take this very seriously, actually, with his team, because it does mean a lot to him. Obviously, everything about our rally and the one day and everything else means a lot to him, and he does get to the point where this is his sort of thing that he wants to get that trophy back. Now, obviously, we have some very, very, very good lady detectorists that are out in the field. So I think he's going to struggle again this year. So I'm not sure. I haven't had much to do with what the lineup is and who's actually.
I don't think they've decided the teams yet.
So,
they've got
well,
the team.
I'm going to put my services forward this year because last year and probably this year he had Shane on his team, and I'm Shane's actual antichrist at the moment because every time we go out together, I beat Shane. So
The funny thing about the detect off is it's like everything that it's grown so much with the RCM, and everybody.
That's because you've been rubbing it. No, making it bigger. I forgot.
The detect off is grown again, and it originally started with Fodder and Mickey having a little bit of rivalry about deciding who was the best, and they asked me if I could decide who was the best between them. So I sort of said, well, go out into the field, bring your finds back, and we'll decide who's the better detectorist. And it's grown from that. And Fodder won the first one, Mickey won the second one, and unfortunately, like John said, Mickey isn't going to be able to make it this year. So Fodder decided that he wanted to change it. So it's now men versus women. I did say to him, in today's current climate, we do really need to have a gender neutral side as well. Non-binary team, because at the end of the day, we could get into trouble if we're having just male versus females, because there are so many different genders out there now.
There's an opening for you there, Dave.
Some people would
I can tell you now, without breaching GDPR on the specifics, 1.7% of attendees to the Rodney Cook Memorial last year were non-binary.
Really?
They were. So I know, Dave, do you count as 1% or 1.7%?
Sorry, did you say? Sorry, I thought you said binary. I'm a numbers man.
Oh yeah, I like that. I've not heard that one, but yeah, things are changing. But maybe there might be my mate James, Dave. He might fit in that well there. But yeah, I think it will be really good this year.
Yeah,
the weather's going to warm up.
They've got a trophy. They've got everything now. The RCM last year was hilarious because they made themselves in. They had the Mickey's Magnificent 7 team, and you had Fodder's Top Gun team, didn't they? And they all came out to their music, and they were dressed as like the Magnificent 7, and the other guys were dressed as characters from Top Gun, and it was, and they do take it exceptionally serious. It's a very serious competition now, and we have a great week, a great day, and it's a great laugh. But the most important thing is that everybody who comes to the RCM events, they all know what we're there for. And the serious side of it is the charities are with us all weekend, and we all, unfortunately, the statistics show that it's 2 in 1 now, or 2 out of, are going to be affected by cancer in some way. And that was what the original, for me personally, you know, I'm so proud of John and my friends and you, Adrian and Dave, and all of you guys who support us and help in your own way. And I know Dave has his moments, and but you always welcome me on. I know you wind me up, but we
and you don't wind me up, Gary, sending me messages today. Have you seen your article in Treasure Hunting magazine? All
Yeah,
the videos you found. Cheek. Help the bloke out selling tickets for his charity event, and then he goes and abuses me. But you're
talking of abuse.
Oh.
Who's in there this week?
Not you, Gary. Not after last time.
They won't let me back in.
Listen, we know that you and John are drinking. We know you and John are drinking vodka and orange. We know it. We know what's up.
John, are you sitting next to that ultra crazy and amazing arcade machine that Gary's got?
Yeah, it's just up there.
I thought you were going to call his wife then.
No.
Not crazy.
For those watching, Gary's in his office, in his man cave, and next to him, to John, Gary's got this. All I can say is anyone who grew up in the 70s and 80s, a boyhood dream, he's got an arcade machine with how many games on it, Gary?
3,300. And it's got all the classics. It's got Defender, Galaxian, Space Invaders, Pac-Man.
He's got a real all 3,000 off now, isn't
well.
Debbie Does Dallas. It's got videos on there as well. But yeah, John, I reckon you haven't got your hand. Has Gary got his hand on your joystick? Anyway, who's in Gareth's loft? So this originates from...
It is a female person. That it. No one's having a guess yet. It's a lady. It's a lady. She
has got hair.
She has got hair. She's got blonde hair, I think.
No, she hasn't.
Yes,
no,
blonde
she
hair.
Hasn't. No.
I'm colourblind.
No, she hasn't.
How do you know?
She's definitely not got blonde hair.
She might have blonde hair.
No, she's not. She's got...
You messaged me.
Is she a detectorist?
Hold on a minute, Adrian. Oh, right.
Yeah, no.
Now, you see, Adrian, this is where the confusion. I've not read that.
No, it's not.
So she hasn't got brown hair. No, she hasn't got blonde. You'll have to do it now because I'm clueless.
Well, somebody's might have nearly got it right. Oh, David Evans. He's got it. It's Nikki from the Soil Sisters.
Well, I was going for Sam. That's where I said blonde, but I hadn't read your message.
The producer is saying she's taken a camera up there. A 110 camera with a 4-cube flash.
Can we?
Whether that's...
Oh, it's not a live stream. We can't get it on.
No. She's shut the hatch. Gareth's mum just handed up some Victoria sponge cake to her. And she's up there now.
Sponge.
She's playing the Ace of Spades by Motorhead. Very loud on a Sony Walkman. But yes, she's not in the chat. I think she's gone now. But it was Nikki from Soil Sisters.
That's why she's not in the chat anymore.
That is true. Yes. Matthew J. Clint. 4-cube flash. You used to have cubes that you put on top of your camera, and when you took the photo, it would go, and then you turn it round. 4-cube flash. That's what we used to call it anyway. Was it 5? No, it's 4. Anyway, I hope Nikki's having a good time up there. Now. Gareth, I hope you look after Nikki really well. And
Gareth said, Nikki, those magazines are for art research purposes only.
Yes. Yes. Not sure how you explain that about Razan, but
Paul B says, what's she doing with the artistic magazines?
Probably reading them.
Anyway.
Oh, here we go. Nikki's come in. I was wondering what they were for.
I'm surprised she's got bloody reception in there. He's got it lead line, that loft.
Yeah, there's a lot of asbestos up there as well, so careful, Nikki. But
well, listen, we've had a video sent in this week. It's a BBC video. I actually messaged him earlier to remind me when. Oh, Nikki's messaged me. Sorry, Nikki, I haven't read that. Anthony Mims, otherwise known as Mimsy. Is it Anthony Mims? It is Anthony Mims. He sent a video in of himself on the BBC News. So we're going to contravene all manner of copyright infringement laws, and we're going to play this.
A hoard of more than 1,000 Roman coins discovered a decade ago is finally going on display in Wiltshire. They were found by someone using a metal detector in a field in Malmesbury, and the community raised the funds to buy them and create an exhibition in the town. Pam Caulfield reports.
Mimsy's been a treasure hunter since he was a teenager. On retiring from the army, he treated himself to a new metal detector, which led him to his big discovery.
I got my trowel out and dug down into the clay and eventually found the top of a broken pot. And then I removed the soil, the clay around the area, opened up the hole to make it bigger so I could get a better look, and eventually discovered that it was a broken pot with lots of coins scattered underneath it. We didn't know what was the amount that was in there, but I had a good idea that it was going to be over 1,000. And then the British Museum took them off Chippenham's hands. They then sorted them through, and it came back as 1,266 bronze Roman coins.
The community were determined to keep the hoard in Wiltshire and managed to raise £10,000 to buy it. They're more than 1,700 years old, span a period of 20 years, and carry the faces of a number of Roman emperors.
We're very close to Cirencester, so maybe they came through the market there. And who knows, maybe the local farmer whose coin hoard this is went to Cirencester to purchase his olive oil or wine or plates, and then it just ended up in the ground, and we're not sure why. But it could have been an offering, probably to the gods. It was found in the field. Who knows, maybe there's a temple there.
It's taken a decade to conserve the coins, and much of the research was done by volunteers. The hard work was worth it.
It brings the history alive to the local community in the area, and they can all come in and see their hoard, basically. It's, belongs to the town. It's part of their Roman history.
And the volunteers can't wait to finally show off the hoard to the public when the exhibition opens at the Athelstan Museum on Friday the 8th of April. Pam Caulfield, BBC Points West, Malmesbury.
Well
Some
done.
find that.
Very
Find that
well
indeed.
done. And
it was recent.
Positive.
It was last year that was from. Very positive. And I tell you what quality were they?
Yeah. And I loved the way the woman said vocal community rather than people on Facebook and Twitter and Instabooks and all that.
Why do they always call us metal detectors?
I think it's now a piss take after watching Detectorists.
No, me and James got called metal detectors the other week when we met.
And did you both at the same time go Detectorists?
No, we didn't. We just went. Just want to get on the land. But no, really nice. And it just need more positive for the hobby. Rodney Cook Memorial, £250,000 raised for charity since it's been going, and this year I think it's going to be even more crazy. And yet it's not national news.
Every year I email without fail every month for about 3 months the local BBC Points West, the local ITV West News, and the national BBC News and the national ITV News, and I never get a reply. Not even a reply.
Well, you won't, because
the only one who did reply, and I went on very briefly and got into an argument on air with the broadcaster, because he got me on and all he wanted to talk about was night walkers. And,
Why don't you this year? Here's a plan, right? Ring them up, BBC and ITV and Sky, and say, while we're there's been a murder. And then they'll all come down, right? They'll all come down, loads of wagons and stuff like
can
that.
I say
When they get there, say, of crows.
Can I say it in a Scottish accent? There's been
a murder.
I
think
And when they get there, say of crows, and they'll be like, "Oh, murder! What are you doing here, by the way? Oh, this is good news." Yeah.
Dave, I think this year, what Fodder's doing, if somebody takes a photo or does a video briefly and it goes on social media, I think the police will be called and a lot of things, because there will be a huge amount of concern about what is happening.
And there's your point. That's how you get them there this year. Get them there.
I literally, it was just the BBC Wiltshire Sound were the only ones who were interested. And whilst I was on there, all he wanted to talk about was nighthawking, and I said, I'm not here to talk about nighthawking. I'm here to try and talk about the good that the hobby's done. And in the end, but no, the nationals and even the local BBC News, the TV news, not interested one bit. They don't even reply.
Gary, got Angie in the chat. Which channel was it that you got into an argument with?
Which what?
Channel was
it wasn't a TV channel. It was the local radio. It was local BBC radio, and it wasn't like a full blown argument or anything. I just politely said to him a few times, "I'm not here to talk about nighthawkers. I thought I was coming on to talk about the money that we've raised for charity." And I think they tried. He just kept trying to sidetrack me, and I wasn't having any of it. I'm afraid.
Tony Kaywood says he was at an event a couple of years ago where you were there, and that got on the news.
Yeah,
that one's a little bit different, I'm afraid. Yes, that was. I tried to put that. We put that to the back of our minds, don't we, John?
Yes, that's okay. I'll keep reminding you.
Yeah, I know you will. You bugger.
Tell me. Go on, Adrian, first.
No, sorry. Talking to Nighthawkers, it's interesting. New television series we mentioned last week with Jay from the In-Betweeners and the guy from
Neil Morrissey
and the other lady, I've forgotten. And it's called The Horde, and it's about a horde that's found. I think it's on Channel 5, or Channel 4. And it's about a horde that's found. And I'm not sure, but they might be Nighthawkers. I think they're trying to dispose of this horde illegally. I'm not sure.
I think what I've heard is, I think it's the dilemma that they have. One of them, I think, from what I've seen of it, one of them wants to declare it through the proper channels, and one of the other ones is saying, I got a lot of contacts or something, we can sell this on the black market and make a lot of money. And I think it's the dilemma that they're having, of whether to do it the right way or whether to do it the wrong way.
I'm interested in seeing how they're going to flesh that out for 4 episodes, because that's an hour top.
Well, if I was to write,
we could do that in an hour and a half on here, easy.
We could on here with Gareth Sloth twice.
And Book Wars.
There's a lot of
soon.
Unfortunate to have known someone who had that sort of dilemma, and it is very complicated because there's a lot of he said this, they said that, police did this, police did that, landowner, tenant farmer. There's a lot of people involved, and I'm just hoping that it comes out as a positive for the hobby and not a negative, if you see what I mean. I can't see them wanting to be negative.
Well, the thing is, you're going to get like loads of people from Metal Detector going round and stoving Neil Morrissey and Jay out of the In-Betweeners. And
Jay lives not far from me, so
mind you, he's
should we get him on the show?
He had the world's biggest horde up anyway, didn't he? Never watched the.
Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah. He's done. He invented the metal detector. Those who watch the In-Betweeners will know that. But yeah, it'd be quite good to get him on the show. Actually, he doesn't live too far away from me, so maybe
go round and knock on.
Obviously, with what's going on with the MCMD at the moment with their meetings with PAS and everything else, and a lot of the new stuff that's coming online about recording systems starting to change and speeding up and everything else. And I think that obviously Alan Tamlin, who's our friend, who obviously is secretary of the MCMD, they've pushed forward to get a lot of the new things in motion, so that for us as detectorists, rather than having an archaic system that takes so long on recordings, the whole system is basically speeded up, and you can do it a lot simpler. There's lots of new things. I mean, he was explaining. I'm not very good with computers and stuff like that, so I tend to goes in one ear and out the other. But I know for a lot of people, it's going to help, and it will hopefully help the whole recording system with the museums actually understand where we're coming from as hobbyists. We want to, record our finds, but I mean, it's like myself and Gary have got a small and Rich Bird. We got a small Persloss going through the system at the moment. And what's that? That must be a year and a half or more now.
Yeah, me, you, and Richard Bird, wasn't it? That was Charles the First.
Yeah.
Crowns and half crown hoard that we found.
But it
got me 2 years now, nearly.
Yeah, I think it might be 2. It was 2 years May, I think. Yeah, 2 years May.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that it's going to take a long time to go through the system. We're not hassling. It'll go through. It'll probably get disclaimed. It'll come back, and it's just a waiting game. But it's just because we're obviously busy doing the charity stuff and everything else, and we obviously are metal detectorists and we really enjoy it. It's for some people it's very frustrating because you get a nice find. And then it's gone, and it takes a long time to go through. It's quite frustrating how long it takes to go through the system, and hopefully all of that will be speeded up dramatically for people. And
I think it's not just the NCM though, John. There was a bunch of different people who were actually at the meeting last week. Other organisations and such like, and some of mine and Adrian's own ideas have actually we've spoken at length to Michael Lewis about. Things that will speed up the process.
I think the biggest problem, John, is at the moment it is antiquated. I mean, if company I work for, it's private medical insurance. If you've got a medical health concern, you video chat their private GP. They email you a prescription. You go to the doctor. You get it delivered. That's now, right?
Yeah.
So the way the NCMD are looking at progressing this at the moment, and all the other people, is great, and it's really good. What we forget is this money has got to come from the government. So PAS have got to put this out for tender. By the time it goes out for tender and due diligence carried out, I reckon we're looking at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to start somewhere, isn't it?
It has got to start somewhere, but it's too late in my eyes, because this is almost like a business today saying, should we do video chat? Should we use Microsoft Teams? And I think it's got to happen, but it's got to happen quick, because I know for a fact people are fed up getting their finds recorded with the flow. And I can tell you that. I went and saw my flow on Saturday, and I said to her, you've been busy? And I know the field's been seeded and stuff. She said, Adrian, it's been dead. She said, I haven't had anyone record anything. She said, it's been really quiet. You coming in and collecting your find. And I said, well, it might be because of the recent press changes with the Treasure Act and stuff. And she went, yeah, I think that might be it. People are worried now. They're going to hand stuff in. And I think they need to almost get a lottery grant injection and ramp it up.
Well, we've actually got Mike. What I haven't told you, Adrian, we've got Michael coming back on the show next month, and he's going to be discussing a lot of this at length.
Yeah, because, you've got the issue with it being government funded is there's got to be a lot of due diligence, a lot of research, and a lot of checking on the companies providing the service. Me and Dave, which we've seen, other people have set up a find, like the NCMD, a finds recording service in months that works, and it's great, and it works really well.
Just detected
unfortunately, just detected it, and NCMD
we
great.
We had it at the RCM last year. We trialled last year at the RCM. Dave and Gordon were offered to record finds for PAS. And at our one dayer. They were, they had everything set up. They were doing photos, grid references into the map, but unfortunately, and I don't mean this against Paz, they weren't interested in taking any of Dave's and Gordon's information that they passed on to them. They didn't want it. I don't know whether it's because they believed in they're the academics and we don't know what we're doing, or whether they think that we're not sensible enough or we're not good enough to do it. I don't know. I'm playing devil's advocate here. All I can tell you is that we offered and they weren't interested.
Well, Tony Kaywood's just put something in the chat, which is true. The way everything's going at the moment, by the time we get round to creating an online PAS uploading via your phone, everything will be AI. So you just upload a picture of your 1958 sixpence or hammered coin or whatever, and the AI will say load of old soot. Ignore. Do you know what I mean? It's true though. Tony's right. AI. I mean, where we've gone in the last 12 months.
I just think myself personally that one of the major problems is that as detectorists we can't help being so successful. And when PAS was set up, it wasn't designed to cope or have the infrastructure to cope with the amount of fines that were coming in from detectorists. Now, we can't be blamed for being good at what we do. We can't be blamed for being successful and finding the fines to show to the flows. It's not our fault that they can't keep up with what we're supplying them. Now, they either...
Not everybody finds 100 Roman brooches a year, mind, so...
There's two options here. They either accept help from us, like we've offered, and the problem is that we would have handed them the information, and then somebody at PAS would still have to have put it into the PAS system and effectively entered all the fines again into the PAS system. So I understand their point of view, and of course I do. I understand their but they do need possibly to accept the fact that they need help with it. And I'm a firm believer in PAS. I always have been. I believe that as a detectorist, we have a responsibility to allow other people in future generations to understand what was going on in the areas that we live, and the towns and the villages that we live, and the cities that we live. And yes, we do have a moral obligation to help with our history for future generations. But at the same time, sometimes we shouldn't be expected to hand our things over in good faith, and then sometimes they get lost in the system, or they get disappeared, or they get
lost in the system.
Yeah, we don't see them for 3 years or 4 years, and and things like
so only a small amount that got
only a small amount, but I can understand detectorists now thinking to themselves, well, I've got this lovely Roman fibula, sorry, Aid, and I'm handing it over, and I might not see it for another 2 or 3 years, or I might not see it. I know it's an exaggeration, but we'll use our treasure find, for instance. That's 2 years in the system. We've not heard a dicky bird. All we had was recognition that they had it, and that's it. We've not heard anything since. And so I can understand people getting frustrated with it, and to the point where they're thinking, you know what, I'm not even going to bother to record, because what's the point?
Well, it can't be that bad, because they done 1.6 million fines last year they recorded.
And 99% of those were metal detecting fines.
Yep.
Yes. And in the Treasure Hunting magazine, fortunately, we publish the full report, which comes out each year. I think it's like 32 pages fitted in the magazine, and it's very interesting, the graphical breakdowns of what's found where, when, and it is we are the museums, we are the museum hunters of the future. I sometimes wonder if metal detecting was banned, museums would be pretty struggling to.
Wouldn't it be good to see the National Metal Detecting Museum?
No.
Now, there, you definitely. I'm in for that, Dave. Yeah, that's a cracking idea. That.
Not in London, somewhere central where everybody can get to quite easily.
London, because
Shut
it's
up.
a good place. No, Essex.
Cockneyville.
The Rodney Cook Memorial Museum.
There you go. I like that. Even
Everything found on the Rodney Cook rallies goes in the museum. So you've got like
don't
this
think
year's
the
event.
guys and the girls who find their stuff. You know, we, as I say, we at the RCM in everything else, and I don't want to paint a bad picture because I believe in PAS. I believe in what it's trying to do, and I always have, and I always will. But what I find very frustrating is the fact, like I've just said, the time, and it's because they don't physically have the manpower. I shouldn't say that anymore. The human power. They don't have that anymore to. I'll get into trouble if I say manpower. They don't physically have any. They didn't have enough people helping and doing it and recording, and the backlogs are getting bigger and bigger. And you almost feel sometimes that the flows are actually almost relieved when things aren't being handed in, because it means that they can catch up.
It's like going to the doctors. You get a good doctor and you happily go back. I mean, Gareth Sims, who's in the chat, hi Gareth, lovely guy, picked up his gold ring from the flow yesterday in Colchester. The PAS had it nearly 5 years to the day. Yes, I picked up my gold ring the other day, and that was 4 years, over 4 years.
Well, there you go. Those two examples there. And again, it you know, I can understand people's frustrations. I would like a very easy world where we hand our fines in, they get recorded, we get them back within a couple of months or so. We hand a treasure fine back in, and then max within 6 months, it's through the system, and they decide if they want to keep it or not. But obviously, that's not happening at the moment. And
I mean, maybe if they sort of said, "I'll tell you what, we'll take a picture of you with your find, put it on the PAS website if you want it, put it on social media if you want it, shout about it, give you a bloody laminate certificate to put in a picture frame, and we'll put it in the museum. But you've got to pay £5." I don't know, something just to. Some people say I ain't paying to record my fines, but there's almost like a quick progression thing. I don't know. There's because the problem is resource and money, isn't it? At the end of the day, there's not enough people. We're on our third flow in Essex in 2 years, I think, and we didn't have one for a year. So
the thing is,
it's just under resourced.
The PAS scheme is we're in the hobby.
He's going to sleep.
But we are.
He's got a bad bag. He's got a bad bag.
The problem,
we boring you, Dave?
The problem is
I've had one of my ribs removed.
It's very low on priority, isn't it?
It is, Gary. Yeah.
Like the money that we're raising for the charity, you know, the hospitals and the cancer charities that we raise money for. There are so many things above metal detecting where governments can hand their money to, and metal detecting, I'm afraid, is very, very low in the big scheme of things. You know, that's what the Rodney Cook is all about. You know, we help raise money, as you know, and for the cancer charities, and their priorities are with that. But on a better note, do you want to know what's going on at the RCM this year?
Just before you do that, the big detecting show in ArcMD Mag, we are actually in the process of a project to assist fellows.
Excellent.
Yes, we'd like to know more. Considering that's why you came on, we were expecting this in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, we got. What have we got planned this year, John?
Well, that's enough for tonight. It's 9:30.
What haven't we got planned, really?
Well, yeah, we have obviously the normal stuff. Comedian lineup on the Friday night.
Oh yes, I've had a good meeting this week. I had a Zoom meeting.
Are they actual comedians or are they shit?
No, these are big ones. These are big ones.
You enjoyed the Greek fella?
Oh, he was amazing. The rest of them were not amazing.
I wasn't too bad. Stacey, we give it to you for free anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't suggest otherwise. Angelini, I see, on Papadopoulos was mint.
Yeah, I actually had a meeting this week with an agent and a manager who manages a lot of the top level comedians in the country. And he has promised me an amazing lineup with an amazing headline act. So watch this space, Mr. Sadler. Watch this space.
Russ Abbott. Love him.
Watch this space. All I'm saying is this guy knows a guy who knows a guy's tennis partner's wife's friend of a friend, buddy, and he might be able to help us out. So
it's Russ Abbott.
Let's just see what happens. But yeah, we got the comedians coming back on the Friday.
Saturday night we have our resident band, Indeed. They're doing an all new song lineup for this year. They're changing some of their songs and everything. They really enjoy coming. They only take a small fee to come to the rally because obviously, like a lot of people, they want to support us. They get what we're about, and they really enjoy it themselves. And they continuously ask to come back each time. So, which is great. And obviously, everybody enjoys them. They're a really good band. So we got that on the Saturday night. We also have.
We got something special lined up this year as well. Adrian knows.
Oh, Mr. Tumble.
No, we have.
Oh, when you said something special, Mr. Tumble.
Something special. No, we have the Erming Street Guard attending the rally this year.
Yes, looking forward to seeing that.
Now, these guys are absolutely incredible. They are I don't want to call them a Roman reenactment group because they're more
living history.
They're scary. They
are serious, these guys. They not only do they live like Romans for the weekend, they camp. Everything is 100% authentic, right down to their tents, to their camp, to what they eat, everything. So they're literally setting up a Roman army camp in the RCM Arena's camping area. So there's going to be a Roman legionary force camping with us all weekend. They will have the Roman cavalry on site. They will also have catapults, Roman army maneuvers going on. You'll have legionnaires, centurions wandering around. You can go to the camp and watch them and try out Roman food. You can even try on a set of Roman armor and be a legionnaire for a few hours.
You would never get a Roman this size like me. You and John aren't going to be dressing up, are we?
But they are so serious.
Keep your dog on a lead.
And they're bringing their full contingent with them. So they'll be doing big battle reenactments and things in another field next door in the arena. So I want lots of people to possibly take their time out of the field for a little bit and just come and support these guys because they really are going to give us some real good entertainment. And you can almost feel what it's like to be a Roman legionnaire. And they're also exceptionally excited to actually see authentic Roman finds, hopefully, touch wood, coming out the ground. Because
Gareth Howard has a fantastic point. He knows that the comedian is Jim Davidson, so the 1.7 binary people might get a little bit offended.
Gareth also said
most of Bernard Manning is coming.
VDI but digging up Bernard Manning with the VDI numbers of 65. I like that. Yeah. Interesting though, Dave. Philip Wills, he's put actually that is one of my theories for the Roman dodecahedrons. They are dated from around the time of the invention of candles.
Candle holder. Ornate candle holder.
God, Philip. Tell you what, mate, it'd be interesting down the pub. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. But hang on, no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to ruin the show.
Have you heard about four of them?
Four don't do. No,
the other. No, the other ones.
Dodecahedrons.
Candles.
Four candles.
Oh. 4 candles.
Anyway, it's getting that time.
It's way past that time.
I'm just going to look on the Rodney Cook ticket sales for the one-day detect-off and also the No Frills Basic Weekend, which if you've got a car, camper van, a tent, and you're looking for just detecting, drinking and eating, there's still tickets available for that. And the one-day Detect-Off event, there's still tickets available. So all you need to do is...
I think half have sold, I think, today. So
which is still really good. But I think a lot of people think of the RCM big main event, but these are going to be just as good.
They're going to be just as much fun. Like we said earlier, we wanted to make it affordable for people. So it's basically 40 quid for the weekend, turn up on Friday, Detect's 4 days Saturday, Detect all day Sunday, and it's 20 quid a day. So if you said Saturday and Sunday, plus you get the Friday night bit of fun, whatever. Yes, we're not going to have the Roman reenactment groups and things and the bands and the comedians like we're going to have. Don't forget as well at the RCM, we've got Fodder's exciting things going on in Saturday night.
Will Fodder's exciting things happen on the Detect-Off?
He might bring him to the Detect-Off. He might bring it.
Careful, Gary.
Yeah.
Gary. Oh, child! The producers just said I've got a child line on the phone.
The Detect-Off. That's what I meant. So yes, there could be. If Fodder could make an appearance. Yes, don't know what he's going to be doing, but we'll see. I can't let anything out. But that will be going on Saturday in between detecting, finishing after the raffle on the Saturday, and the thank you speeches to the RUH and Brighter Futures, etc. And then he'll be doing his whatever Fodder does, and then obviously then at the same time you'll have the Roman art. I really want people to interact with this Roman group, the Ermine Street Guard. I really do. I really want to see. We're hoping to have 2 Legionnaires posted at the gate entrance when you arrive.
I hope they don't get a disease. The Legionnaires. Legionnaires disease.
I want to see Adrian dressed up as a Roman Legionnaire. That's all. Just for the whole weekend, refusing to take it off.
I'd keep my dog on a lead and keep away from the bathing areas.
Adrian will be getting pissed and offering the whole guard out. Probably.
Now, this is the thing. Do you want me to bring the photo booth back? Because you two had such a great time on it last year.
Well, the man who was running it was very confused, especially when I went up to him and he said, where are your mates? I said, I just want photos of myself, didn't I, Dave? And I put my thumb out my shorts fly pocket. And
I've got the photos. Yeah, I have.
And I know you have.
And the negatives.
The photo booth thing, in all honesty, I'd probably get someone to, because he gives you Polaroids, which you take away and you sign the book, but they end up on Facebook and that's where everyone sees them, or the RCM website. So maybe just have someone like, I don't know, Julian Evan Hart going around with the camera in the evening taking pictures of people. Yeah, he does. But
taking pictures of people with the thumb out.
We did have one idea, but
maybe, but there could be there'll be someone who takes pictures.
We did have
get Gary to bring some of his dressing up clothes, which we know he will got, and then just have his picture taken.
No, latex if it's hot.
Oh, right, sorry.
Okay. But we did have one idea actually, and we weren't sure how it would go down, but we were thinking of having a silent disco.
That'll be all right for people like me who like an early night.
No, but silent disco is very good, but there's no social interaction.
No, apart from everybody laughing, looking at people making complete idiots.
I like a silent disco. I've been to a few. Paul B, hi Paul.
How's that going to work when Smack My Bitch Up comes on?
Huh?
Hey,
how's that going to work when Smack My Bitch Up comes on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you could have a silent disco, and it's a competition where people have to guess the song.
Yeah.
Not the
song.
Anyway, Gary, it's nearly 11:15, so we are going to. If you scan the QR code, or you can see the website. What?
Can I say something before we go, so that we do say this?
Before Gary starts speaking again.
Yeah. But just to say to everybody who comes to the rally, everybody that helps on the rally, the marshals, everybody that volunteers, everybody that has any input in it or raises money, we really, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much, because this would not work without everybody's
100%.
input. You know, it's from the detectorists to everybody else. We probably, you know, we don't get enough chances to actually say, you know, our greatest respect goes to those people. I know we're doing what we do, but without everybody else's input, all the groups that chip in and raise their bit and come along, you know, there's people that a lot of people don't know about, the people behind the scenes. We have a few companies behind us that, like, the skips are paid for by a building company that I have an association with. We have, you know, a lot of influences come in from the outside that are never seen at all, and people that are sat in the background that nobody knows about. To them, we want to say, you know, a massive thank you, because without all these people, without their dedication, you know, this would be a real struggle.
And the bus service is coming back this year as well, but instead of having the gators, we're going to actually have mini buses this year, because where we are this year, there is actually hard standing sort of area that they can drive on. So rather than have a dozen gators driving around, we're actually going to have 2 or 3 minibuses, RCM minibuses, driving around all day, taking trips for people up and down from the furthest field. So all those have to be funded, and a lot of guys help us out with the funding of those.
Yeah, I think I agree, John and Gary. There's so many people who help. The metal detecting manufacturers, the distributors,
everyone.
And even as we speak, Dilek from Nocta is in the chat. So hi Dilek.
Hi Dilek.
And
See you in September.
She attended last year and did a lovely little speech, and people like that, like Nocta and all the other manufacturers, it's lovely seeing Dilek in the chat, who was on the show the other week.
Well, Dilek supports the RCM massively. She has good reasons to support the RCM, Dilek's personal reasons, and last year was exceptionally emotional for Dilek at the RCM, like it is for me every year. And to have the support from the likes of Dilek at Nocta means so much to the RCM. It means an awful lot. I know it means a lot to her, and she always says it has a special place in her heart, the rally, like it does for so many of us. And this is, for me personally, this is the reason why I wanted the RCM to be so successful, is because cancer is an evil disease. It affects so many of us, and it can affect us in so many different ways. And I've always said this to everybody who asked me, losing my father was the worst pain I've ever endured in my entire life. And I hope to God nobody else will ever have to suffer the same pain as what I did, losing my dad. And the RCM is about that. It's a rally, and I've mentioned this before, it's a rally that isn't like any other rally. We always say to everybody who attends the RCM, whatever differences you have, if you're a manufacturer, if you're a trader, if you're a dealer, or even if you use a particular brand of metal detector, you leave your differences to one side when you enter the gate of the RCM. You put that difference at the gate entrance and you leave it there. And you come into the RCM and we all come together as a group of hobbyists, whether we're manufacturers, whether we use a different brand, whatever we are in the hobby. The RCM is a special event for all of us to come together to show the rest of the world that we are not treasure hunters, we're not thieves, we're not night walkers. We're actually a group of amazing people who can create an amazing thing, and we can do amazing things, and we can raise £85,000 in one weekend to help people with cancer. And that is what I always wanted with the RCM, to project out into the mainstream world what we can do as a hobby, and also at the same time to remember my father and to remember all the other fathers and mothers and sisters and brothers and aunties and daughters and sons of people who come to the rally who have lost or know someone who have passed from cancer. And that is something that I've said so many times, that is grown from such a small seed in my little brain as an idea, to the amazing thing that the RCM has become. And all of you out there who support it, and all of the manufacturers who help, we cannot, well, I personally can't thank you all enough, because it means so much to me. And as I say, having Dilek here is amazing, because I can then...
Well, Gary, just so you know, Dilek, sadly, there's a lot of people put comments about how cancer's affected them. And poor Dilek lost her niece at the age of 33. Yeah. And it's the only daughter of her sister, which is really sad. Right. And there's a lot of people putting, like Philip Will's special event for special people. I think that sums it up. Special event for special people. And those who are watching tonight, listening to it on their car in the morning, or watching a rerun on YouTube or Facebook, think about it. If you've got a spare day or a weekend, sign up to the Rodney Cook Memorial, come and visit and join all the fun.
Yeah, that's exactly it, mate. That's what it's all about. Having fun and raising money and helping others.
Well, listen, it now is 11:15. So, on that note, thank you to everybody joining us this week.
I don't know what's happened to me. Can you hear me? I think my interweb went.
Thank you to Gary and Medium Hoss for joining us tonight.
I love you.
I think we should all have Medium Hoss wanted. Medium Hoss t-shirt made.
Hoss hog.
Hoss hog. So, yes, thank you all for joining us tonight as ever. Next week's guest has moved forward a couple of weeks because she's not available. So she's coming on in a few weeks after that. So we've got next week's guest to sort out up to now. So if you want to come on the show, give us a shout. We'll have to get Tony Kaywood come on soon when more information's available with the new routers. We'll make sure he doesn't drink before the show. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So thank you to all the viewers tonight. Thank you to John and Gary. And obviously, will be much more information come. I'm sure we'll see them again before September.
We'll see you all in September, if not before. Don't forget, tickets are on sale as we speak for the mini No Frills Weekender and the Detect Off One Dayer. If you want to go on the waiting list for the RCM big event, I think there's only 600 odd people in front of you, so it's not too bad.
No.
If you give Adrian a dropsy, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure
Right. Thank you all, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Good night, everyone.
See ya.